Greetings, greetings. Welcome to Kiy NY7. Whew. I'll get right into it. I'm going to show a clip. Anyone new, thanks for coming through. Hope to see you back. Anyone returning, glad to see you back. Wanted to get right into this. This has to do with Aries Spears, who's a very well-known African-American comedian. He gets a lot of pushback because his mouth gets him into a lot of trouble. And I feel like his most recent run-in with this heckler, it was really uncalled. We'll just watch it, but I believe it was really over the top. And with the way things are going now too, with men versus women, and a lot of that stuff, you have to watch what you say. Like you really have to watch what you say. So I got my camera up here popping, so that's cool. So let me go ahead and add screen, and I'll be right.
It's 2025 and it still seems like thinking it's a battle they'll win. Well, Aries Spears has just shown what could happen once an audience member decides to interrupt a comedy show by making it all about them. Spears would repost an interaction from one of his latest sets where he goes back and forth with a white woman in the audience over Donald Trump.
And listen, man, I'm not a Trump supporter, never have been, never will be. But I gotta admit, this motherfucker is somewhat charismatic. Oh, bitch, shut up, we know. Listen, bitch, I know you're a fucking Trump supporter because you won't shut the fuck up. But if you don't shut the fuck up, I'm gonna put my in your mouth. Fuck me, I wish you would. That way I got a reason to get rid of this last $2 in my wallet. I bet you your pussy tastes like cold French fries. I want to talk to all the black people. I want to talk to the niggas in here for a second. Look at her. What's happening?
Spears' caption for the clip read, "Now this is a comedy show." That would be followed by Spears promoting future dates for his stand-up comedy tour. Of course, fans in Spears' comments were excited to see the heckler humbled by Spears. One social media user would comment, "Her husband has been wanting to talk to her like that for years now. He probably took her there to set her up because he knew Aries would put her in her lane." Another social media user would agree and share the same thought, writing, "She probably wears the pants in the marriage. That's why the husband is sitting there enjoying this."
Okay, so I could have plugged this into. Greetings again. So you saw what happened. She must be a Trump supporter. Aries Spears is not. There's a lot of love and hate Donald Trump gets. Take it or leave it. It doesn't matter. Life goes on. The thing was, he was about to give Trump some credit because you see, or something like that. Because when he started off saying what he was saying, he was like, he's not a Trump supporter. He never was and never will be, right? But then he goes on to say, he was like, but let me check my audio because I just decided to thought to add the mic. I've been like running around. Okay, so he didn't even have a chance to like say anything further. So she chimed in and was saying something. You can't really hear what she was saying. I'm gonna play some more if it didn't play already because I had jumped up. Then she was like, I love you, Lord. Like basically saying, I love you. And he's like, if you love me, then, shut the F up in SMD, like suck my. So I'm just like, all right, like, let's play it again.
Because he wished he could handle his wife like Aries did.
And a lot of people are agreeing with him going off on this woman. I, for one, am saying that he threatened to sexually assault her, right or wrong. And it sounded like he meant it. There's a difference between comedy. I get it. We all want to laugh sometime. But there's a difference between telling someone threatening way that you're going to do something physically to them. What's the difference? So I like to know you guys.
You all in your feelings.
So what point are you trying to make?
No. She don't have to be thrown out. She don't have to be thrown out. But here's where you fuck it up. You turn turning this into a political thing when this is a comedy show. This is a comedy show. You all in your feelings over Trump. You all have the right to vote for whoever the fuck you want to vote for. So you did your thing. You guys' level of loyalty towards Trump is breathtaking. It doesn't matter how dangerous his actions or how irresponsible his words. Y'all stand behind that motherfucker no matter what. You guys are like battered wives. As long as he comes home with a box of chocolates and an apology, you'll stay.
Aries is no stranger.
I'm gonna put my in your mouth. Know you're a fucking Trump supporter because you won't shut the fuck up. But if you don't shut the fuck up, I'm gonna put my in your mouth.
Now, I'd like to know how y'all feel about that. Everybody's like, oh, you know, he came with it. He came quick with it. I like quick-witted humor. You told a woman, if she don't shut up, you gonna put your eggplant, dick, penis, genitals in her mouth. Let's keep it real. Coming from a black man who's already looked at as not only a super thug by a lot of people, but also a overly sexually driven creature. A lot of folks look at us as a species, not even people. So it's just, I'm trying to understand why that was okay with what he was saying. Where are we going with this? So how would y'all feel if you were in the audience and you with your mate, your husband, your wife? How far can we go with the comedy to where this sound like you real upset, like you want to put your hands on me? How far is comedy gonna go, y'all? How far are we going with it? So we got Aries Spears. Also recently in the past week, and he's been going off on his how he feels about Ice Cube. And I want to talk a little bit about that too, and then tell like how I felt about the West Coast growing up. I didn't like the West Coast rappers rather. Not nothing personal. I tended to feel like they just not my steez. And like when you come from the East Coast, we have a certain flow. We have a certain way of doing things. When other people rapped, it was slow. It was like dragged out to me, you know, and stuff like that. So I get what he's saying, where he's kind of saying like Ice Cube don't have no lyrics. Like Ice Cube just he's corny and all this stuff. It's like he far from corny. And as I got older, I opened my ears and my mind up to more that we're the same. We come from the same place, but there's different cultures. There's different, well, I should say, style of our culture in different states throughout the United States. But I wanted to, and I don't do Vlad at all. So if he's on Vlad, I can't show it. I'm not showing it. I don't want to. Let me go on here. Oh, I hope I could. It's Joe and Jada.
1.1 million in a short week. So I'm working on it. Yo, what up, y'all? This is Joe Crack the Dawn. And unless you have an opinion that's favorable, the funniest guys in the world, I appreciate all your contributions. And everything you do, I believe, is hip-hop, right? You always represent hip-hop culture.
That's a East Coast culture.
We gotta fix the Ice Cube borderline violation, right? Because Ice Cube, here in this show, this is the love of the culture. This is the preservation. This is like the national preservation forest of hip-hop. And whatever that means. And, Ice Cube, living legend. Is it just jokes with you, or do you ever feel like...
Listen, let me be clear. Did I miss something? We skipped the whole thing.
No, I'm doing the Jada Kiss right now. I'm trying to fix this.
What happened? Let me be clear here. First and foremost, I never attacked Ice Cube, the man. I never attacked his character. And first of all, my whole point was this word hate is being so overly abused and thrown around now that unless you have an opinion that's favorable, you're a hater. No, I'm opinionated. And then sometimes in my delivery comedically, I'm gonna be a little bit brutal. But at the end of the day, I never question his character. I never questioned him as a man. And listen, I even gave him his flowers and said, yes, he is a pioneer, a trailblazer, an icon in hip hop, especially with the West Coast. I'm just not a fan of his artistry. And by that, I'm just simply meaning, listen, man, for me, my musical palette, my hip hop palette, I'm an East Coast dude, man. But I like Snoop. I like Pop, who technically is from the East. But nonetheless, just because I'm not a fan of that does not mean that I'm a hater. And if I'm being really specific, what I was really speaking to was comedically, acting-wise. Because I just feel like, and listen, I know it's all about getting the bag and the money. And, I just feel like with sometimes artistry, a rapper can't do comedically what a comedian can, because that's a muscle. That's an instinct. That's in our blood. We eat, sleep, shit, breathe comedy. No more than I can go in the booth and do what you can. Better than you.
I saw T.I. Do some comedy. He was actually pretty good. Okay, don't go there.
Your opinion. It's your opinion.
You don't want to say nothing about T.I. T.I. gonna want to have a back and forth. T.I. be done banged out with him. That's just how he do. All right, I'll not in my favorite thing. Okay, that's why I don't even bother with Fridays. But so that was what Aries Spears was saying, and now he's saying in a more recent interview that he's not coming for Ice Cube. He just ain't down with his rap. So it's like, all right, so we get that, but Aries Spears just has a real way of basically I don't know, he kind of sabotages moments. That's still how I see it. And he has a right, though. He got a right to say what he wants to say and give his opinion, which he's given. But it just seems like, I don't know, I wonder how y'all feel about like opinion and versus hate. Like, why when he talks about people, most of the time is negative. He says people only pull out what he says negative about people. He has good things to say, but it's like, nah, no, you don't. You always looking like a black panda bear. You always got something negative to say. Like you a whole panda bear. So I know you scaring some other folks. They not used to this. I'm gonna run this through again, and then I'll come back to it at the end and just kind of wrap it up. It'll be probably a rather quicker live stream. And I want to show what's going on with the moon. So that was from Comedy Hype. I also had, who was it? TYT. It was the Young Turks. The Young Turks.
This motherfucker is somewhat charismatic. No! Oh, shut up. We know. Listen, bitch. I know you're a fucking Trump supporter because you won't shut the fuck up. But if you don't shut the fuck up, I'm gonna put my dick in your mouth. Fuck me. I wish you would. That way I got a reason to get rid of this last $2 in my wallet. I bet you your pussy tastes like cold French fries. You don't want to fuck with me. I'm like Denzel in Training Day. I'm surgical with this bitch.
At a comedy show, Aries Spears went off on Trump supporters who attended his set.
Matter of fact, I want to talk to all the black people. I want to talk to the niggas in here for a second. Maha! 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 Look at her. What's happening? No. She don't have to be thrown out. She don't have to be thrown out. But here's where you fuck it up. Here's where you fuck it up.
I love you.
Well, then if you love me, suck my dick and shut the fuck up. Listen. No. Listen. I don't want them to be thrown out because trust me, here's what I'm saying. Here's where you fuck it up. You're turning this into a political thing when this is a comedy show. This is a comedy show.
Why is she saying no? Better yet, why?
So it looks like I said, a lot of folks are on Aries' side. I'm gonna go off camera. Thank you. A like I said, he basically was threatening her with assault. So it's different ways you could look at it and take it. And whoever you're offending, you just got to keep in mind that you don't know how far they're going to go with it. You know what I'm saying? So it's basically this kind of trashy. Um, Let me pull up I'm gonna pull up the thumbnail real quick so we can see how I got this set up. All right, so that was the deal with Aries Spears. He did say specific things, which I'll probably get to that just before I close out on Ice Cube. All right. So you see by the thumbnail here, I put Aries Spears hates Ice Cube. He tells the heckler SMD, and then he was like, if you don't shut up, and then he was like, well, if you love me, then didn't suck my dick and shut up. Like, dang. So, and on the other side of the thumbnail, I do have NASA, nuclear, moon. Like I said, I do like to study and discuss things that have to do with astronomy because it does affect all of us. So I'm wondering how y'all feel about that, because I think that the reason they are going nuclear with the moon is because they want to start getting life out there. They want human life out there. They might start by adding species, before they add us, but we'll see. Because why else? You got to think about it. Why else are we bringing nuclear reactors out there? The nuclear reactors are supposed to help balance out the climate eventually because it's very cold on the moon. And also, like I've mentioned before, the moon is moving further and further away from Earth. Every single year, the moon moves 1 centimeter away from the Earth every single year. So that's just something to think about. One of my favorite people is astrophysicist Neil deGrasse Tyson. So I'm going to show this a little bit from his channel here on YouTube, which is called Star Talk. It's called Why We're Putting Nuclear Reactors on the Moon. All right. So I didn't realize I couldn't even hear nothing the whole time. Thanks for saying something. I mean, Jesus Christ. All right, let's try this.
Power plant, moon nukes. What's up with that?
The space race is going nuclear.
But we are in the race. We're in a race to the moon.
NASA Administrator Sean Duffy expected to announce plans this week to build a nuclear reactor on the moon.
To have a base on the moon, we need energy.
Here to discuss all of this is astrophysicist Neil deGrasse Tyson.
Well, as you may have heard, the United States, NASA, has an accelerated plan to deliver a nuclear power plant to the moon. Plant actually overstates it. It's a nuclear power device that can produce 100 kilowatts of power. So how much energy is that? Well, you know how much energy a hairdryer draws. Typical hairdryer might draw 1,000 watts. If you delivered hairdryers to the moon, how many hairdryers could it sustain? 100 of them. 100,000 watts, because each hairdryer is 1,000 watts. So obviously that's not what NASA is planning. I just want to give you a sense of how much power that represents. It's not a major power plant. It is an energy source that would be sufficient to sustain a small colony, a small settlement. So NASA has pushed forward the timetable over which that would be delivered. It was going to happen anyway. They just moved it forward. And that made great clickbait all around the internet. Trump administration is going to put nukes on the moon. The real story is NASA and the Artemis program that was going to put a power generating system on the moon farther away in the future has moved it up on the calendar. That's really all that happened there. The urge to attach it to the Trump administration is strong, but here's what's interesting about NASA. Realize NASA is 10 centers across the United States. 10 centers located in 8 states. And variously, those 8 states will vote 4 red, 4 blue, 3 red, 5 blue, 3 blue, 5 red. And so that's interesting, which means NASA is embedded into the political spectrum of America. What that means is the vision statements of NASA as an expression of what the country wants to do actually transcends presidents, and on some level, therefore, transcends politics. So it's how and why Kennedy can say, let's go to the moon, and we go to the moon, and Nixon picks it up. And we keep going to the moon until we look over our shoulders and Russia isn't there. Oh, that's why we went to the moon, because Russia was going to make major leaps and bounds in space, and we had to show them that we were better than the godless communists around the world.
Yeah, they battled over that too, who got to the moon first. There's even big debates about whether we actually ever went to the moon or ever went to the moon many years ago, like when Armstrong went, Neil Armstrong. I'm into moon dust and studying particles too that are found on the moon. So I have been like tracking some things of that nature, but it would be crazy to actually find out that they never were on the moon. Because then I would be like, well, explain the moon dust you've been selling. You know what I'm saying? And explain the moon dust that you guys have been stealing over recent years. Because I've been watching. I have been watching and paying attention and wondering and questioning a lot of things. Let's just go to this tab and then I'll go back to Aries Spears and I'll peace out. Nuclear moon refers to the ongoing race between U.S., China, and Russia. So it's the AI part, but it has been competition with mainly certain countries, including the U.S. So under acting NASA Administrator Sean Duffy, so they plan to have this on there by the year 2030. And like I said, it's to help with energy, which Neil deGrasse Tyson reiterated. Solar energy, continuous power. They did pretty good with this AI information too. I usually go with NASA, Life Science, Space.com, just a lot of these respectable resources. So they're aiming to build a nuclear reactor on the moon. Got 100 kilowatts. And this won't be enough to change the climate, of course, the way they would want it or possibly be suitable for human life. But why is it not showing? Oh, okay. Yeah, I was in the other tab. Here we go.
Other worlds, the moon, Mars, and in the space between. And when that day comes, just as always, our children will look with curiosity across these new horizons, with a desire to go further and to explore what lies beyond.
I don't know about y'all, I'm not really interested in this.
But beyond Mars, the distances between worlds grow immensely, even within our own solar system, and become truly vast in between stars. If we ever want to reach out across these distances, We need to learn how to go fast. Using our current knowledge of physics and engineering, we could build nuclear locomotives to take humans to all the worlds in our solar system. But a starship powered with a nuclear heart aimed for even our closest star, Proxima Centauri, would have to harbor hundreds of generations of people, all living their entire lives aboard before reaching its destination 4.25 light years away. It would take 2 years just to reach the orbit of Saturn, and another 2,000 years to reach Proxima Centauri.
All right, so they're getting more into the solar system and the distances and this and that. Right now, we're just focusing on the moon because there's been a lot of activity with our moon, and I've been saying this for the past couple of years. Like, what they got going on the moon? Like, why is there so many trips to the moon? Some people look at it like, well, we got the technology. Let's go. Let's take a trip. Let's, go to space and come right back down. Nah, I'm looking at it deeper than that. I'm like, what is y'all out there doing? So like I've said in my previous video, if you look it up, it should be in my astronomy playlist. I'm going to double check that too. I have a good video on Saturn. So speaking of Saturn, Saturn has been losing its rings. Every half hour, it loses, like they say, like a family size, pool size amount of its rings. The rings are not solid. The rings are actually particles, and they're spaced apart. They're ice particles. There are other forms of heavy matter debris. They are leaving Saturn. And by the way, a lot of people don't realize this, but most of our planets have rings around them of some kind, including Earth. So I don't know how y'all feel about it. You feel we should have life out on the moon? Are y'all interested in traveling to outer space? Do you want to touch down on the surface, or would you like to just take a ride through space like some celebrities, some people have been chosen to do, and other people with research, they just go up in the air and then they come right back down, so why are they concerned about other planets when Earth, someone's in the chat saying Earth, anyway. Oh, all right. Well, I appreciate the support. Comes far few in between sometimes, and sometimes it's a lot of support. So you don't get nothing if you quit. So I appreciate you chiming in. We do need to focus on Earth, but I think honestly that a lot of people are giving up on Earth. That's what it feels like, because it seems like that's why all of a sudden we see people having all these ideas for everywhere but Earth. So it's funny you say that, because we do need to pay attention to Earth. Let's just say the Earth ain't gonna be here too much longer. It still don't make sense to tear the Earth up and then say, now we just going on to Mars. Forget global warming, forget recycling. Like Kiy recycles every day. I recycle everything down to my toilet tissue roll. I'm the best recycler I know. Probably that y'all know too. But it is interesting because like when Tesla guy, who owns Tesla? Damn, it'll come to me. The richest man in the world, billionaire, South African. Damn, I can't think of his name for nothing right now. Did someone say it? Nobody is going to be here too much longer, but the Earth will. Well, they're saying the Earth is going to be gone in some millions of years from now. So they feel that they've come up with an exact time frame. I'm personally not too sure about it, but like I was trying to say, what you call it? Damn, it's not Bezos. Whatever, man. Hold on, because this is going to bug me out. But okay. Trump. Musk, Elon Musk. It didn't even come up yet, but Elon Musk, right? He said, all right, let's get it together. Let's go move to Mars. Mars is only going to be here maybe 50 million more years, if that. Because if you look it up, there's ways you can find out how long a planet is going to be here. Do we really know? No. But we can get educated guess. So like through their hypothesis they made. So my thing is, you can keep hopping. What, you're going to keep planet hopping? Make the planet good where you're at. Just like Earth. It's like, how are you going to give up on Earth? Then you got people that have money and they figure, or, you know, however they're getting this advancement. They're like, all right, we can pick another planet or something. And that's where I'm going to live. That's where me and my people going to live. Y'all can stay on Earth. We're going to be out here. It's like, all right, well, good luck. Because in Mars, you can't take your helmet off. You can't do a lot of things. You start to, your body starts to disintegrate like this in split seconds. So you have to really think about, how would life be on Mars if you were to go? Things aren't just something so quick where, oh, we just gonna go. Like, hell no. You're gonna go, you probably ain't gonna make it back. Yeah, it's like it don't make sense. So yeah, there's that. I've been following people researching and specifically traveling to the moon over the past few years, because if you look it up, there's always somebody going to the moon and they don't talk about it. Everything else though, they like, oh, did you see this? Oh, look at this. I want to know why y'all keep going to the moon quietly and coming back. They don't tell us everything. And there's a lot of answers they just don't even have, but they're trying to seek it and they want to keep it quiet. Also, speaking of Earth, the bottom of our planet where the South Pole is, human beings get sick and tend to die if you stay down there too long and you're not protected. But you can look it up too. We have researchers that tend to like going down to the bottom of the planet, the South Pole, and it's only scientists that go there. And I want to know why they keep going. You don't hear about this, but I look into this because when you research things, you see even more and it makes you question more. As you're learning, there's still always so much more to learn. So I do want to know why they've been down there. They're not telling us everything. And I want to know why humans can't survive. At the bottom of the planet, they have a hard time, or we. And at the top of the planet, we have a hard time. But mostly the South Pole, mysterious illnesses take over humans. Not everybody, but it has. It's claimed the life of at least a handful of researchers over the past years. And they don't talk about it. So yeah, but it does seem like some people might be giving up on Earth, or just wanting to explore, wanting to feel like, oh, I'm going to be a part of something different. It's like, all right, well, good luck. Just know what you're doing, because you don't know if you're coming back.
We need to be able to go faster. With our current knowledge of physics, but with engineering we have yet to develop, we can imagine a propulsion system with the sun for a heart.
Also, while we're here on Earth, I've been saying the sun has been really upset. The sun has been causing sun flares, throwing fireballs at Earth. That's not normal. It's been at its highest. In 2021, we've had the hottest summer. The Earth started spinning faster 3 years ago, just a little faster, but I was watching it. It sped up again a year ago, and it made a shift in the Earth. And now it's spinning faster. Everybody want to act like they don't know what's going on. Like, all right, y'all can keep not learning nothing. You got to know what's going on, because it's going to help figure some things out, you know? So there that go. Okay. No, feel free to speak Russian if you want. Not sure why you want to speak Russian, but if you rather do it, we'll read your Russian comments. YouTube is an American channel and website, and a lot of Russian areas aren't even really allowed to get service from YouTube. So I'm not sure where you're getting this Russian talk from. Let me go back over to the other graph.
So what happens in the 20-teens, 2014, 15, 16? China says, we want to put taikonauts, their word for astronaut, on the moon. China is like our frenemy, right? We're looking over our shoulder Because are they about to be the new world superpower? Economically, socially, culturally? What's going on? So Congress is a little spooked by this, and we say, we're gonna go back to the moon. Thus was born the Artemis program for the United States to go back to the moon. Recognize that between 1972 and then, going back to the moon was not a sufficient enough goal to do on its own without some kind of forcing agent behind it. Just the kind of forcing agent that sent us to the moon in the first place. Okay, so now we have the Artemis program. It's a spaceship. The first Artemis went to the moon, went around the moon, came back, landed, but it had no astronauts. That's Artemis 1. Artemis 2 is gonna go to the moon, orbit it, and come back. That'll have astronauts, but it wouldn't have landed. Artemis 3 is gonna go to the moon and land with astronauts. That's the plan. And it'll keep going to Artemis 4, 5, and in the plan, you can look it up. In the plan, there's a building of a base there, a sustainable presence. The moon will become a new second home for us. So you need energy sources while you're there.
All right, so I'm not going to go on and show too much of his show because that's his channel. I suggest checking it out. It's Star Talk, starring your host, a very awesome astrophysicist, goes by the name of Neil deGrasse Tyson. So that's what I was feeling like too. I didn't finish watching that. I just started assuming, and just based on my findings anyway, I said they're trying to get human beings out there. So you could be out there freezing your balls off on the moon, whether you speak Russian or not. Your balls is going to be cold because ain't enough energy out there to do what they want to do yet. So if you want cold elbows, kneecaps, butt cheeks, and everything else, go on to the moon then. But pay attention how the moon is leaving Earth. We got to get more things going on here. Without the moon, the Earth is unstable. We would be all wibbly wobbling, right? So with the Earth, the closer the Earth is, the closer the Earth and the moon are, or little Earth closer, there's maximum stability. Without it, there's none. So it does make sense why they've been sneaking and creeping to this moon all this time, though. Yep, they want to send people to the moon, y'all. So that's that part of it. So it's just something to think about. I'll have some more things coming up in time in the near future on some things I've been looking at with astronomy. But this is the latest thing. Yeah, so with the sun has been so hot, and throughout our years, especially in the recent 3 years, I would say, it's disrupting our communications. So it'll just be interesting at some point when the internet's shut down. I want to see what everybody's going to do. I want to see what y'all going to do. I personally think that hackers are going to have something to do with shutting internet networks down, and things like that too, because they're always trying to do that. But we got the sun. So there's a lot going on that I don't think people are paying enough attention to until stuff really starts getting shut down. Places like Vegas, Las Vegas, and some places like that. So, all right. So that's what we got with that.
Still can't help but heckle stand-up comedians, thinking it's a battle they'll win.
There has been an increase on people heckling comedians, where they're just up there just trying to have fun, trying to, get you to have fun. I don't understand too why people go somewhere with an attitude. It's like, why have an attitude when you're going somewhere to have fun? Leave your attitude at home or come and get a new attitude. That's the whole point of coming to a show. You know what I mean? Like, it doesn't make no sense. But I honestly feel like our happy places and spaces are becoming just aggressive and mean, and they're less fun. The place you would expect to laugh the most, right, would be a comedy show. So I do see that Aries Spears sometimes got to deal with hecklers, but the way he dealt with this one was so inappropriate. And I just feel like no one's calling it out, but I am. How long we been on?
Well, Aries Spears has just shown what could happen once an audience member decides to interrupt a comedy show by making it all about them. Spears would repost an interaction from one of his latest sets where he goes back and forth with a white woman in the audience over Donald Trump.
And listen, man, I'm not a Trump supporter, never have been, never will be. But I gotta admit, this motherfucker is somewhat charismatic. Oh, shut up, we know. Listen, bitch, I know you're a fucking Trump supporter because you won't shut the fuck up. But if you don't shut the fuck up, I'm gonna put my in your mouth. Fuck me, I wish you would. That way I got a reason to get rid of this last $2 in my wallet. I bet you your pussy tastes like cold French fries. I want to talk to all the black people. I want to talk to the niggas in here for a second. Maha! Look at her. What's happening?
Spears' caption for the clip read, "Now this is a comedy show." That would be followed by Spear promoting future dates for his stand-up comedy tour.
All right, maybe you couldn't hear me while I was off, but I was laughing. I just all right. I hear that. I know that's right. Deal with the demons you know right here on earth where we already at. Just like my emoji up there. Avatar. All right. Yeah, so we'll see what's going on. I do things on Sundays, somewhat like spiritual or sensual type of Sundays. So I'll probably be on this Sunday too. And it's funny you say demons too, because I've been thinking about that. There's been a lot of demons that have been rampant, and you're absolutely right. They're all over. So, you know, but I would like to talk coming up in a live stream and possibly this Sunday. I have some things that I'm going to talk about, and I do like to talk about demons, but calling them out, casting them out in a way. We're not going to give any demons or demonic behavior or intentions too much attention, because you can't give the devil too much attention. It's not good. But I do like to talk about little things because it does have an effect on us, our family, our friends, or lack of. But you stay positive, you manifest, pray if you're into prayer. Things like that's going to keep you safe no matter where you are and no matter what tries to come against you. A lot of these things are just certain people trying to have their way over the masses, or just trying to save themselves. So we are in a world where it's everyone for themselves at the end of the day. I feel like that, you know, unless you're really a dedicated organization or some type of legit coalition, you out for self. And that is what it is. So we'll see. I think as the days go on, in closing, we have these different comedians that's coming out, old and new, and a lot of people are being heckled. It's almost like that's the new thing to do. Like, go ahead and heckle somebody in the audience. I mean, from the audience to someone on stage, and then maybe you could get put on. But nobody does that. Nobody be like, hey, check out my channel, I'm so-and-so, or I got jokes too, I'm funnier than them. They don't even do that. They just do it because they're a lot of times they intoxicated. You know what I'm saying? Or just miserable. Just miserable beings. So I just wanted to chime in on that, because also, you know, the woman was there with her husband or boyfriend, because he mentioned something. Matter of fact, I was done, but I do want to just show that part again. It's just like, if you think about it, you heckle someone, right? You're sitting with your significant other, whatever. Are they going to tolerate somebody saying, yo, suck my dick, like suck me off, shut up, did, and all this stuff? He was laughing, but I wouldn't have thought it was funny. You know what I'm saying? It depends, but Aries Spears was getting angry at this moment, and I just feel like people are. I don't know if because you're a comedian, people are starting to feel like, hey, I tell jokes and I get to tell you off too. Any kind of way I want. I'm able to behave any kind of way I want pretty much on the stage, and I'm gonna do it with you too. And it's like, where do you draw the line?
Political thing when this is a comedy show. This is a comedy show. You all in your feelings over Trump. You all have the right to vote for whoever the fuck you want to vote for. So you did your thing. You guys' level of loyalty towards Trump is breathtaking. It doesn't matter how dangerous his actions or how irresponsible his words. Y'all stand behind that motherfucker no matter what. You guys are like battered wives. As long as he comes home with a box of chocolates and an apology, you'll stay.
That was a big statement right there. I was just talking about DV, domestic violence, when I was showing Sha'Carri, our Olympian star, how she's shown in front of everyone at the airport putting her hands on her boyfriend. And then I pulled up an old article where she was in an abusive lesbian relationship prior to his, you know, so I think to an extent we do attract what we are. We have a way of attracting things. And if you feel like you're not attracting the right vibes or the right people and stuff, do a self-inventory and see what you can change in your life too, to make sure that only the right people enter it. Don't think those demons won't still come knocking. Who said you got to let them in? So hope to see y'all back at another day, another time. I'll probably be on again for a Spiritual Sunday. We're going to be knocking these demons on up out of here and maybe have some other conversation about some other things going on. So yeah, we got that going on. And oh yeah, and coming up too has to do with sports, but sports commentators like Stephen A. Smith. I got some choice words for him coming up. It'll probably be a live stream. I want to talk about how messy he is and is becoming. And I feel like he need to be careful that he's not next to get fired like Shannon Sharp was. So I got information. I'm gonna give examples of why I'm saying what I'm saying. And I feel like he needs a warning if he didn't already get one. So you ain't above nobody. A lot of people have bosses, and while you still have a boss, you got stuff to lose. There's a cost with it. There's a cost when you got a boss. All right. Again, thanks for coming through. I just had that. But thanks for coming through down here. So I think I got all the comments. At least that came through. I think that was everything, everybody. That went so fast too. I see how people get on here and we get to talking and it move fast because we're getting stuff off our chest or whatever they want to say. So yeah, so that's what's going on with that though. Yeah, there'll probably be more. So that's it. Oh yeah, so I was talking about him when he was on stage. I already brought up the fact that he was talking bad about Ice Cube, and we can all have our opinions. Like I said, I have my opinions of West Coast rappers, but I like them. They had to grow on me though. You know, so there's just something different coming from New York. Like we're just different. And we have higher standards than a lot of people in other areas of America. And we do with a lot of things. We just do. And a lot of times we do the damn thing first and we do it the best. So if you're going to do something similar to what New Yorkers do or whatever we had going on or do have going on, you best be good at it. But we're going to call you out most likely. So that's what I had to say about that. Shout out to the West Coast too. Ice Cube, which most people know, he started out as a gangster rapper and he became a director of film and everything too. So he's just come a whole long way. And he's basically earned a lot of what he has. And he's made it further than a lot of people have. So it's just like when you do hear somebody going in on him, you just kind of be like, okay, like what is really going on? Maybe so one more thing here. When I was doing my thumbnail and I had him looking like he was getting a fist was in his face. It came from Fist Fight, a movie I forgot he did like 2017 he was in with Charlie Day. He's another hilarious comedian. He is a funny guy. He also has a show. It's always Sunny in Philadelphia. Hilarious crew. Oh my goodness. And now the woman that was on, they had one female on there. Now she's on there. And another show that I just found out about. So I was like, okay, cool. So that's what we got for that. But he's done so many things. As we know, a lot of people know he's done Friday. Let them know back up. We all know that Ice Cube is amazing. He's done a lot of amazing things. And with that, he helps pave the way for the next generations of people to do it. Not typing Ice Cube, they actually showing the Ice Cube makers. Yeah, so he deserves, he deserves respect. He definitely deserves respect. And there's a difference between liking someone and not really liking their style and being disrespectful. So, we got all those things. And he was hesitant to answer the question when Aries Spears was asked by Fat Joe. He said, yo, I think T.I. funny. And he just looked at him like, he said, that's your opinion. That's your opinion. He don't want to go there because he know how T.I. is. He know T.I. don't really be playing no games. T.I. don't be playing no games. They'll be arguing. He probably be done called him to the stage. It'll just be a whole nother thing going on. Q grabbed his bat. All right. Yes, leave that man alone. But anyway, that'll be it. I'm Kiy NY7. Consider subscribing if you haven't already. If you have already, it's appreciated. It helps to hit like sometimes. People come through. Lots of people come through sometimes, and sometimes less. The likes need to go up though. It's like kind of interesting. I compare my information, my energy. I compare it to a lot of people, and I'm still trying to understand what the problem is. But you guys could be a little more supportive, and that helps. Also, during the live streams, it helps to chat. It is an open-minded, open chat room. Okay, so there we go with that. Yeah, that's pretty much all I had to say with that. Let's put away Ice Cube bat. And there we go. So NASA nuclear moon, that's something new. It's been talked about for a while, but now they're saying they're going to have that nuclear reactor on the moon by the year 2030. So we'll see. And I think they're going to start building more and more onto the moon because they want to get life there. So that's what they're working on. And feel free if anyone catches a replay or thinks about it later, wants to leave a comment. I'd like to know your thoughts on, I need to put a poll in the chat. I'll do that next time. I like to put questions in. Well, people do like answering the questions that I have in the chat. I usually do multiple choice. Do you feel that he went too far with the response back to the heckler? I don't know what she said. I think she was just saying no. And he's like, yo, suck my dick. It's like, wow, really, Aries? Really? So is that acceptable or not? The way he badmouths Ice Cube, he's really disrespecting Ice Cube. He can say what he wants. I feel like he's disrespecting him. Is that acceptable because that's his opinion? Or are you like, nah, he ain't going about it right? All right, so feel free to share your thoughts. Appreciate y'all coming through. And again, I am Kiy NY. And thanks. I hope you have a good day.